and the devil is a lie. We are going to have Sister Talk tonight. So
Amen.
welcome everybody to our first segment of First Lady Tea Time. But I am not alone. I have my sisters with me, and we are going to, this evening, we want to have everybody to just relax. We're going to get together, and we're here to support you. So I have my sisters with me this evening. I have Sister Anita and Sister Stacy. Anita, you want to introduce yourself?
I am Anita. I'm always smiling, newly engaged. The Lord is still working on me. Thank you. But we're here to have a good time with my First Lady and Stacy. And thank you, First Lady, for having me.
Well, thank you for being here.
And I am Sister Stacy. I am First Lady's favorite person in the whole wide world.
Hello?
Yes, I am.
I'm telling Chase.
And I am the shy and timid one, but this evening I'm going to open up and give you my all. So happy to see you all, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Our hashtag is #SisterTalkT. If we're I'm also looking at the live feed, so if you could let us know you're watching, share the link. We'd appreciate it. So let us know where you're listening from this evening. So we're gonna our First Lady Tea is gonna be broken up into 4 segments, and our first segment is called Reality. So let's talk about reality. So let's talk about what is one activity that you would like to continue once the Safer at Home order is lifted.
Well, I'll start. One of the activities that I would like to continue or that I have been doing that I haven't done in a long, long time is really connecting with my family and friends. Just talking to them on the telephone, which is kind of like an antiquated concept. Just, writing letters and notes to people who I haven't spoken to in a long time. Just reaching out to loved ones via our platforms, which we have like Zoom and Skype and Google Hangouts and Duo and all of those kinds of things, and just being able to connect with people that I haven't connected with in a long time. That's been the most refreshing thing that I think has happened during this crisis, and that's one thing that I really would like to carry on once this is over.
I definitely agree with Stacey on that. As millennials or in a digital world that we live in, I'm not big on talking on the phone all the time, but I have really been on phone talking to my family, especially my sisters more and more. We've been on Google Duo every day, FaceTiming every day. Those things that, it took this to kind of slow everybody down, which is a huge blessing. Now I get to speak close to my sister now, and kind of being newly engaged, I couldn't be with my family. So, I'm calling my mom, my grandma all the time, my dad that lives in another state. So it really just kind of brought me and my family kind of closer together, especially on phone calls and physically seeing each other, through apps and whatnot. And then also I've been actually trying to read actual book and not just read a few pages and close it and go to the next one. I'm really trying to read through a book and start a new one. So that's what my activities I've been doing, trying to read more and connect with my family.
Okay. Well, we've got almost 27 listeners or watchers now. We say hey to Danielle in Vista, California. My sister's also listening in Vista. Hey, my people in Vista. Also, we've got Sister Linda Daniels in Palmdale. So hello. Oh, we got Dana in Inglewood. All right. Inglewood. we got my sister Kim in my missionary unit, my side unit, WMS, coming from Los Angeles. So happy to see that. And we also have some of our YPD. We've got Shanti Polk. Hey, Shanti.
Hey, Shanti.
Hi, thank you for joining us this evening. So I think one activity that I've started doing is just actually writing. I send my granddaughter a card every week, And what I've done now is I've started to put a stamp in an envelope so she'll write me back. Also, just kind of reaching out to a lot of my friends that are remotely working, just to talk to them to find out how they're doing, because a lot of times, they're the ones giving a lot of energy to other people, but nobody's really there for them. So just really trying to, reach out to those folks as well. What are some of you all that are listening, the 32 of you that are listening to us and watching us this after, I guess it's really evening now. What type of things are you doing that you would like to keep up after self-isolation? So I know that there's probably a minute to a minute and a half delay. So put some information in the chat so we can find out what kind of things that you're doing right now. Okay, and then
I see that Ashanti wrote that she's definitely going on a lot of friend dates and she wants to see her YPD friends.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else? I see. Thank you, Shanti, for commenting. So while we're doing that, is anybody remotely working? Or is anybody working remotely, or are they remotely working? How is that going? Stacey, I think you're remote. You're 100% remote, right?
Yes, I am 100% remotely working from home. I've had a lot more work from home than I had when I was in the office. I don't know if it's because I'm confined in one place where it's just like all at one time and that's all there is that work. But it definitely is one of the downsides of my coronacation because, I'm on vacation over here. And it interferes a lot with me having a good time with my family. But yeah, so I think that is one of the biggest eye openers of being in isolation is how much work people can come up for you to do in a time like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
Reverend Ronia Clark Williams says she's exercising more.
Oh yes.
Good. I'm not. I'm not.
Well, I'm actually exercising, and as I was telling the sisters before they came back online, I feel like that corona weight is like trying to chase me. You have to figure out, what you can do, because we're most of our office is remote now. I'm going, and there's a few of us that are going in on a regular basis, but while we get 7,000 steps a day, I'm getting like 2 or 3, 7 to 12,000 steps. I'm only getting 3 to 4,000 because there's nobody to talk to, so you wind up sitting in your office way too long, and then by the time you get home you're like, oh, just forget it. So I think Kim Ewell is also spending more time with her grandchildren. Roz Jones says she's teleworking and she actually misses being in the office. I would say be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, thank you.
Also, Gloria Shedd is taking more time for themselves because they can't run around doing stuff for everybody else. Which brings us to another thing. What are we doing for ourselves during during this time? How are you keeping your balance with trying to do something for yourself, doing the remote working, and trying to stay sane at the same time?
Yeah, well, since I am deemed as essential, I'm leaving the house Monday through Friday. And so when I come, I still try to do my little self-care, little routine. Either that's like a face mask, like I said, like I'm trying to do more reading and just trying to center myself to stomp out to go out the next day to work. So I'm still trying to self-care.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we're also hearing, I think Jacqueline DuPont Walker has prayer time, family chat, and bingo. Okay, that's
nice.
Yeah, sounds good. Let me see. Dana is telecommuting twice a week, and she says it's a little challenging. What types of challenges are you experiencing while you're trying to telecommute back and forth? What kind of challenges are you having? I know for one thing that with Stacey and I think Stacey and Anita and we all have the same issue that while you're, well, not only because you're in the office every day, well, so am I, but
Right.
the other you see is if I find even if I'm in the office all day, I'm still going home and working a couple hours because you just don't have enough time because my work phone's ringing, my work cell phone's ringing, someone's calling me on Zoom, plus there's emails, and it just seems like there's not enough. Yeah, you feel like there's not enough time in the day. I mean, you're grateful for the technology because it allows our folks to still, earn a salary, but it is challenging. We have a couple other Jacqueline Twat Walkers, Remote and Home, and Linda Daniels also misses being in the office as well. So let's kind of segue away from. I think we've had. Thank you for all of those comments. Remember our hashtag Sister Talk T, and share our feed with your friends and co-friends and other sisters. So how are we doing with keeping with our kids? Those of you that have kids at home and you're trying to balance working as well as making sure your kids are, doing their quota of virtual learning for the day. How does that go? Anybody and that's listening to our feed want to comment on that? How is that going?
Well, with my kids, with one of them, the boy child, it's really no big issue. But with that girl child, it's a different situation. She's a little bit younger, and not as much structure when it comes to the instructional environment for her. So it's been a little bit of a challenge, but I've been trying to come up with things for her to do. Like today, for our YPD on tomorrow evening, we have placemats that we're coloring. So I'm like, okay, did you color your placemat? Scriptures, have you read your scripture? It's kind of hard to balance both her instruction and my having to work and having a lot more work than I usually have. I don't have a lot of time to kind of tend to her and to assist her, but she's blessed to have an awesome brother who just really kind of steps in and helps her out. But yeah, it's tough to balance that. But I also have thrown up my hands and realized I'm not her teacher. And although I work in that profession, I'm not trying to be her teacher. And I refuse to be her teacher. Her teacher is her teacher. I am her mother, and that's the position I choose to take with it all. It's not like she's not going to go to college because she had these few months off from school. And it's not like she's going to lack in any learning. We have so many other ways to learn in our environment. We are cooking together, we're baking together. That's math and science, and those kinds of things that we're just learning from our environment now. And I'm okay with that. And I'm absolutely okay with that. And I'm positively, absolutely okay with that.
How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with that.
I think also we have a couple more comments. I think Delicia is planning the SEC WMS 5K walk, so we are going to keep you in our prayers and definitely participate when it's time. Does anyone else want to comment on how it is just with that balance of you've got kids and like for me now my dining room table is not now my office as well instead of just my dining room table. So and also there is at the end, I think Benny's going to put up there. I found a list of parenting in the time of COVID-19 from the World Health Organization. So we're going to put that website up at the end. It gives you some tips about how to parent during this unusual time. So I think at this time, we're going to segue into our next segment, which is on spirituality. So what we're gonna do, you guys are all late. So what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do.
We're trying.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about maintaining. What are we doing to maintain our spiritual life? How are we maintaining our spiritual walk?
You know, it says in the Bible to pray continually, and I pray continually. You know, and mornings, noon, night, and then I still have my routine of waking up, doing my devotionals and things like that. I am still going to work, so it's a little. Sometimes I do steer away in the mornings, like I don't have that much time. I kind of wake up a little later, but I still make time to do my devotions and those things, just to kind of stay sane, especially still because me still going out there in the world, still people, you got to stay sane and stay,
That are
yeah,
unsaved. Mhm.
yes. Mm-hmm. It's a wicked world out there.
What about you?
Well, I mean, I try really hard to maintain my spiritual life, and I found it difficult, however, to pray without ceasing like that because I feel like I'm asking God the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Mhm.
And there are some times during my prayer time where I'm just like, okay, God, you understand. You know exactly what I need. I've asked you this for the past month, you know, and I'm not gonna ask again because you already know and that it's on my heart. So that's been the most challenging thing as far as like maintaining my spirituality. Just trying to, I don't want to say come up with new things to ask God, but just to not focus so much on the same things over and over and over again because
Mhm.
He's already heard my prayer and He knows my heart. And
Right.
there's no need for me to keep being persistent with that. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but it's just the way that I feel about it. But just the other thing that's been challenging for me as far as like maintaining my spirituality is the virtual service for my everybody else in my house. It's fine, but for me, it's a little different because usually I'm in the kitchen cooking breakfast so that they can have something to eat. My mother, she's very anyway, she's a beautiful person, and and so Sunday is her day to come over to my house so she can get out. I'd rather her come to my house than get out and go somewhere else. So we have Sundays where she comes over to the house, and so I'm always making sure she's okay. And so what ends up happening is I miss a lot of that. Um, so even being able to have that kind of connection and bond with my family in worship is, I'm not really a part of that because I'm always kind of, like cooking breakfast, preparing things, getting things in
Right.
order for them, and all of that. What I can say though is that I am a woman of faith, of deep, deep faith. I've always operated in faith. And I understand that God hasn't given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So I try to navigate this whole time just with the sound mind, understanding that God will take care of me and that God's got this, and having faith that He will bring us through. Um, and just operating in that faith is the best example of how I am maintaining my spirituality. Being
Amen.
that positive person and trying to share my faith in terms of trusting God in the situation with others, and so that I can say is a positive.
I think I'm going to read a couple of the comments. I think Jacqueline Love says she's been teaching her grandchildren to cook, and Linda Daniels said her faith has actually gotten stronger during the quarantine. And Annette McDovey gave us a nice reminder that we are all our child's first teacher.
Mm,
Um, while these comments are coming in for me, I have just tried to not take so many things for granted. Like, thank you God for waking me up, that I can still walk around, that I still have the ability to exercise, that when I walk to my car and open the door, all my stuff's still in there,
Right.
and that when I press the run button, my car starts up, just thanking God for the things that where you usually, get in the car, throw
mhm,
all your stuff in the car, start the
Right.
car,
Take off.
put it here and just, you know,
Mhm.
get on the road instead of just taking the time to just, stop for a minute and just say, thank you for everything, because we take so much for granted. There's folks that, and you hear it every Sunday at church. that not everybody wakes up, you're like, yeah, but that ain't me. But
Right.
you have to think about, it could be you. It really,
Right.
it could be, it could be you. So I've just been trying to be, more great, just really be grateful for, what he's already given me. And, I understand, I hear what Stacy says, because like, there's a certain ritualistic quality to your prayers that, there's certain
Yeah.
things that you pray for on a regular basis, and certain things, you're praying for, specific situations or things that might happen. So, or things that have happened, but, co-workers or something you might see on the street or something that you pray for. But, I just think that, God, as you said, God knows your heart, but he also knows that the struggles that we have. And, and I
Yeah.
don't think, even if we keep asking for the same thing, I think that, at least my personal opinion is, I feel that, the Lord still needs to hear from you. We can't be so, I don't know what the word I want. We can't be so arrogant that he already knows what I want. I ain't gonna ask for it anymore. I think, that we still need to, you know, I still need to demonstrate to the Lord that, that he is still in control. He's the head of our household. He is,
Absolutely.
he's the Alpha and the Omega. So, we know that what happens is what happens because of him. So, because of that. So we got a couple
Amen,
more.
I
sister.
know, Sister K.
Kinette. All right. That was a sermon. I kind of felt that. I felt that in my spirit.
Jot down my notes.
Ready. Got a couple more comments. So KG says she hears what you're saying, that you've learned been reminded to pray for other people and other situations and their needs. Linda Daniel says, amen, Stacy. So thank you for all the comments that we get. Roz Jones says she finds that she has no choice to be still so she can hear God speaking to her. And just Diane Herfer says, wrote Bible study, prayer call, sharing the gospel YouTube. And with that, I hear what you're saying about the service. The service, I miss teaching Sunday school. I miss all my babies. I miss youth church. I miss that, I just broke my heart that we couldn't, have our kids have our resurrection service. But the thing is, now we're planning for, virtual VBS, and we're thinking about some ways to reach out, other than just like on Fridays, what could we send out to keep, our kids engaged, but for me, selfishly, this is the only time that I've actually been able to see, have Bible study. It's just because
Yes.
because it's at a time where I'm back at home now, and usually when I'm so tired I get off work, I don't want to talk to anybody. So it's really nice, just because because of the profession I'm in, I'm talking all day long to people. Right. So it's just nice to come home, you're quiet, just have Bible study. So that's been really nice. So I'm hoping, selfishly, that we are able to continue able to continue to stream it when we go back to whatever form of physical sharing of space that happens.
That is one thing though too. I really love that. And not only that, but I can go back and I can watch it, and I can take notes, and even all of our broadcasts, we can go back and we can watch them. I love that part of it. But yeah, I just miss, that feeling that you get when I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. I miss that feeling. And I even miss